welcome to episode number 1 of Just the Tip. We're going to be going through day by day, and the aim is to do a short 2-3 minute video at max on just some frequently asked questions, some things that we notice day to day, on things that people can fix and to improve their lifting, improve their strength, and everything else in between. So today's first topic is going to be on one of the main flaws or faults of sumo deadlifting, and that is starting with the hips too high. Come through, let's go through it. So sometimes when people set up for the sumo deadlift, they set up, instead of like a sumo deadlift, they set up like a wide stance conventional deadlift. And before they pull the bar off the ground, the hips are too high. And what that does is it takes the quads out of the lift. The sumo deadlift is very different to the conventional in that there's heaps more quad involvement, especially off the ground. And by you taking the hips up too high, it takes the quads out of the lift and makes the lift harder to break off the ground. And then it makes the lift even significantly more harder. Because of that, it magnifies and becomes more harder to get it through the mid-range and then ultimately lock out. So this is what you typically see. You'll see people set up for the lift kind of like this, hips right up here, instead of more down like this and upright and more of a squat. You don't want to be too low, you don't want to be like this, but this is not correct either, because as you pull, there is no major quad involvement. The way that the hips align and the knees align and all the joints align, the quads become really involved in the sumo deadlift, much more than the conventional deadlift. So by you taking the hips up, you're taking the roll of the quads out, and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage in that type of a setup. In the conventional setup, the quads are still involved, but nowhere near as much as sumo deadlift, in the sumo deadlift stance. So that's actually a little bit of a hint. If you got naturally stronger quads, maybe sumo deadlift is the way to go for you, assuming you're built correctly in the other joints and limb lengths and things like that. So try that tip out. If you're doing sumo deadlifts and you're finding it hard to break ground and you're finding it hard to get through the mid-range, bring your hips a little bit lower and start like that off the ground. You may need to work on some mobility drills and things like that to get it happening, but that could be your problem. And that's the first episode of Just the Tip.
Hi, this is Allan, head coach of Adonis Athletics, CAMPBELLTOWN. Today we're going to demonstrate a belt squat, a variation of it.